I don't like it, Kyle. I don't like it. Creepy lady in a veil lives in a weird house with her unreasonable, like, too attractive not to be evil brother. And Ambrosia went in, used changeling powers to say, like, look, there's a werewolf out there. Clearly evil, attractive dude followed and went outside with his weird weapon, and then Ambrosia decided to go into a basement, and I've been thinking about it all week since we finished.
Well, we returned to speak to Patrick Wolfston, and we shared with him that we found in the basement of the old church some necromantic, um, things, like barrels and creatures. And then we also found the emblem of the De Rosalba family, which is Martinez and is it Elena or Elena? Okay.
Ambrosia is not worried. Their player is.
I think it's fine.
Ambrosia immediately leaves the basement. Let's have a look. Featuring trait. I don't think so. Very difficult, with great difficulty. Let's see if I've got anything that can help me out. Alrighty, I don't have fire spells. I have maybe? I whip out a torch. Ambrosia, who is currently in the guise of Martinez, is going to send a message for Beatrix to relay to the others, and it's like, Eagle 2 has made it to the basement. There is a rune on the floor, a deer carving, and this is the second creepy basement we've been to in a 2-day span. Next time, can we go to like a hotel or some kind of haunted day spa? Yes. I left Beatrix with Annabelle. The creepy woods witch that she truly is. As toll in the dead.
All right. Could you ask her if wait, who are you as the guys as right now?
Martinez.
Okay. Could you ask them if they recognize the rune? Are they safe? Alright, well, I guess just ask them to banshee scream if they need some support.
We should have discussed this before I went in. The signal if you need help is, help, get in here!
I think Quint is probably looking very worried and is now just starting to, like, get the armor at least loosened up so that he can pull it out quickly.
I'm all...
I am just watching the house and listening in for the screaming, I guess.
Can Quint and I see you? Like, are we in eyesight of each other or no?
I don't know what woods you're in, but I know where.
We're not in the woods.
We're not in the woods. We're on the pathway.
Then yeah, you can see me. I'm not hiding.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm actually gonna like pull out the armor and stand it up, but make it like put it behind the cart so it's not really an obvious eyesight. Okay. Okay. I do want to pull it out because I think things are going to get interesting.
You hear Ambrosia. We hear Ambrosia say to Beatrix, "Tell the pretty one to start putting his armor on, for the love of God." There is an arcane rune on this basement floor. I'm gonna investigate the rune if I can. Yeah. That's a 12. Oh. I have a backup plan to help me escape, but I don't want to waste it on this one. And I sense bad things are happening. Fine. No, then I can't get back. No, what? I'm gonna blast it. I'm gonna Can I jump over the rune? I am afraid. Whee! What is up? So the gear is inscribed with the floor. Is that the deer symbol, or is that like... Okay, I'm gonna listen outside of this door. Okay, that's better. Perception is 17. I'm gonna very slowly open this door.
Thank you for telling me that I'm muted, Knox. Which door were you opening?
The one I just listened to.
All right. Well.
Maximum stealth mode activated.
Yeah. Then give me a stealth check, please.
Whoop. Oh, thank God. Stealth. That is 16.
Excellent. So.
Oh my.
Yeah, there's some stuff in here. Inside, you see a table with a number of precision instruments of various sorts and notebooks, plus several crystals set into bases of various sorts.
Urge to steal rising. Oh, is there anything, and nobody is in this room?
You have seen no one.
Alrighty then. Ambrosia is going to casually walk in and just nonchalantly look at those notebooks, start flipping through.
Can you give me an investigation check, please?
Ooh, that's not good. Investigation, that is a solid 9.
They seem to be about cataloging various objects and items. That's all you really can get from it.
Can I take one of these crystals?
One of the crystals? The crystals are very large. These crystals that are over here. Oh, it helps if I'm... There we go. Yeah, these crystals like that. Yeah, what you see on the table are mostly, as I said, the various precision instruments and notebooks and pens and so forth.
Can I take one of the notebooks?
You can absolutely take one of the notebooks.
Yoink! And then I'm gonna say to the others, it's like, all right, he's either super into some arcane weird stuff, or he's creating some very fine jewelry. The jury's still out on this one. And I'm gonna listen to the door here.
Give me another perception check, please.
Ambrosia, don't fail me. It's 30.
You hear a ticking sound.
No.
Like a clock or a gear or something.
I've seen Peter Pan, Kyle. I don't want it. It's gonna be a crocodile in there, and he's gonna eat my face.
Annabelle, when Beatrix relays this information to you about the room, what do you and Quint say or do?
I'm halfway in my armor. I think Quint realizes that he doesn't want to be caught short-handed, and he's not really saying anything to to Annabelle at the moment. I think he's getting a little jittery and a little shaken. I think.
I am going to start a clock.
Why?
Called Martinez Returns.
Oh no, okay, gotta keep a very close eye on that clock. Oh no, it's not there. I don't know if he's returning. It's okay.
Oh dear.
It's fine. I will take the guise of someone else. I'll trick him into believing I am the real Martinez. In the meantime, I'm going to very carefully open this door. Maximum stealth.
Which door?
The one I'm in front of that's not open.
The one with the word and the clocks? Okay. Well, give me a moment then. Because that is a whole thing.
Oh no.
This is fine.
You worry so much.
We have been in games with you before, Kyle.
That's fair. That's totally fair. It's more than fair. All right. Ambrosia, as you look inside, what you see two sorts of things. First of all, you see on the other side racks of weapons, like an armory, mostly daggers and crossbows, but you see one musket there as well. But you also see what look like a clockwork man and a clockwork hound.
Do they see me?
They haven't moved, if that's what you're asking.
I really want to walk into this room, but I sense bad things. I don't know that they obey Martinez.
Just putting that here. This is just so you can see it. There's not actually that clock is not actually there. There we go. This is good.
Okay, that's it. That's
all right. Just for view. They haven't moved yet. What do you do?
Oh, the player really wants to close the door, but Ambrosia wants to go in.
Well, what would Ambrosia do?
Stupid Ambrosia, he's gonna go in.
As you do, the head of the clockwork man, who looks like this clockwork is well over 6 feet tall, looks very stout. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit so you can, people on the screen can see. And the hound's head tracks you.
I'm going to stride
You
in.
hear the flywheel starting to spin up inside.
I'm going to look at them both as Martinez and be like, there's a werewolf on the grounds. Be vigilant. I don't want an incident. And...
Can you give me a deception check, Ambrosia?
Nat 20!
What's your deception modifier?
Ooh. It is... +5, so 25.
25. Received and understood.
Is there anything else in this room except for weapons that I can see?
Back in my notes. Nope, just that other door to the south.
I will walk in and attempt to go to the south door.
Alright. I think at this point, that's a good point to increase the penis clock. All right, you go to the south door.
Yep.
What do you do there? Do you just open it, or do you do something else?
Nope, I'm just gonna open it.
Okay.
I don't like it when Kyle smiles.
I love
Makes
it when
me-
Kyle smiles.
Makes me real nervous.
I have a beautiful smile.
You do have a beautiful smile. It just instills fear in me when we're playing D&D. Ah!
You step in. You see several crates that have not yet been opened.
I am going to close the door behind me. I'm going to say to the two people there, it's like, keep watch. I don't wish to be disturbed. And then close the door behind me.
Okay.
And then go investigate those crates.
All right. Are you prying them open, or are you just looking on the outside?
I'm going to see if any of them can open easily or if they're all nailed shut.
They're all nailed shut.
Alrighty then, I'm going to try and open one.
Okay. Yeah, you hear as one opens up, and inside you see stacked carefully and packed carefully a number of different look like some sort of trinkets. There's a candlestick made of some sort of reddish stone. There's a scarred pewter figurine of maybe a merfolk, hard to say for sure, some sort of aquatic person looking. A pewter merchant's weight engraved with the symbol of a trade guild. What do you do?
Ambrosia want trinkets. Ambrosia, take the trinkets.
You take the whole crate?
No, I'll take the candle and the scarred merfolk.
Okay.
If I could take the whole crate, I would take the whole crate.
I understand. All too well. Annabelle and Quint, are you staying put?
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I'm trying to sort of watch to see if I can see anybody exiting or entering the house from where we are. And I'm just waiting. I'm sort of I'm waiting to hear anything from Ambrosia. And as soon as they say to go, I'm ready.
All right.
And I think by this point I'm in the armor.
Yeah, just about. She's been taking her time moving slowly. Matthew's still breaking his fast. No respect that, because it is Gothic brunch. Back to Ambrosia.
So is the door there?
I'm sorry?
Is there a door in front of me right now as well?
There is.
Can I open the stupid door?
Of course you can open the door, Ambrosia. This door is easy to open.
Oh, I don't like that.
You worry too much. Well, maybe not too much.
Yep. There it is.
So
hello.
So first of all, there are 3 brooms in here, and I would like you to roll for initiative.
Son of a bitch. 15. Then plus whatever my initiative is. 17.
Okay. Theirs is also 17, so you will go first, because I like to give ties to the players, because they need them more. Okay, let's see. We're going to give all of these a turn. Oops. Yeah. We don't need to. All of them. 17. I'm going to give you 17.1 just so I remember. All right. Ambrosia, I'm going to say, however, you are surprised on this first round. I think that's fair. That you were not expecting brooms to animate and come after you. And so the first one is going to attack you twice. I guess a 21 hits.
Oh God, yes.
So you're going to take 4 bludgeoning damage from the first one. The second one, what's your AC?
13.
All right, second one hits you twice. For a total of, hits you twice each time for 4 bludgeoning damage, so 8 total. And the third one hits you only once, 7 bludgeoning damage. These brooms are all up in your grill.
These brooms are annoying me.
It looks to you like this door has not been opened in a very long time.
Alrighty.
What do you do?
As the squishiest member of this team, you're just gonna hear Ambrosia go, nope!
Beatrix,
And I'm gonna miss.
Beatrix says, she says no.
Nope!
No, she says no. That's all she said was nope.
And if I can do this. So am I in here?
Yes.
Alrighty then. I am going to... Oh, this is such a bad plan. I wish I knew how... I don't remember how much HP brooms have, but I'm only on 8, so screw this. And Ambrosia is going to send a message that says, I'm being attacked by brooms, don't ask. And I'm going to Misty Step here.
It sounds like she's under broom attack, but not to ask any questions.
And I'm going to Misty Step there and then slam the door closed.
Alright. Okay, yeah. You can slam that door closed very easily, and you hear 3.
No! I'm going to send a message like, okay, so total rounds, there's a mechanical man and a dog in here, a room full of trinkets, and a room full of brooms that just almost murdered me. I mean, I almost murdered them. Yes, that is... I was very successful in my attacks. And Ambrosia's going to say, I think now may be a good time to exit this weird-ass basement. Kyle, I have 8 HP. I just got totaled by brooms. Brooms, Kyle.
I mean, I thought that's what you like.
Just getting almost murdered by brooms.
I learned this with you on Friday.
Yeah, to be fair, I did enter every room with a broom. And I was like, maybe their brooms are flying and I'll get to fly. No, they just want to kill me. In which case, I'm going, oh good, look, Martinez. No, I'm going to stride through here, say as you were, to the clockworks. Gonna jump over this rune. I'm gonna get out of this basement.
Yes, Corey, it's a progress clock. I thought you might like that. You're going to see that there's plenty of things. Okay, so a couple of things. Let's go over to the lake house map again. Zoom that out a little bit. So let's make sure that we've got all of our friends in the appropriate places on the map, since apparently now that's about to be relevant, right? So I'll just drop them on here. Yeah, so Ambrosia, you are here. Yep.
Yep.
Quint is way out here with Annabelle and creepy Delilah is about there. And it is about this time that you hear this door slam open, and in walks Martinez, who looks at you, narrows his eyes, and levels the blunderbuss at you.
Nope!
What do you do? I mean, he sees himself in front of him. In his house, crawling out of the basement.
I can play this one of two ways.
You can play this many ways. It's your choice.
This is all a dream.
That's an interesting way to approach it.
And while I say that, I am going to cast Friends.
Friends. Okay, so that gives you advantage on charisma checks, as I recall.
Yes, it does.
And then that will, why is D&D Beyond not being as friendly as it should be?
I was either going to be his twin, or it was going to be a dream. I chose one of two ways.
All right. So, do you have an arcane focus?
Yes, I do. I can't. Oh, it's my tarot card. That was my arcane focus.
So you hold up a tarot card in a flourish and cast Friends upon yourself.
Beep.
So now you have advantage on checks for the next minute. What do you say? What do you do?
I'm gonna say to him, that think about it. This cannot possibly be a reality. There can't be two of us. You've been working too hard. The clockworks, the crystals, they're taking their toll on you and your sister. You need to rest. And you're chasing werewolves? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Can you give me a deception check?
Yes, I can. Whoop.
Yeah, this is totally gaslighting. This is like gaslight. Oh my gosh, gaslighting in a gaslit house.
Okay, I got 19 and then plus 5, 24.
Yeah, so 24. He doesn't shoot. Kind of leans back on his heels. This feels far too real to be a dream. Oh, let me show the viewers what Martinez looks like.
We've reached the daddy portion.
Zaddy.
We've reached the zaddy portion of this playthrough.
Zaddy.
It's
Dad.
instead of the big bad, it's the big dad.
Yeah.
We face the big daddy of this campaign.
I mean, he is a good-looking guy. He's just, he's just young and fashionable. That's all. Man. Oh my gosh. So, he says, this feels too real to be a dream. Quint and Annabelle and Delilah, what are you doing during this process?
Have we gotten any new information aside from nope and the other bits? No. I look over at Annabelle. What's your sense of all this? Do you think we should make our way over?
I'm gonna bet, yeah, we might want to consider that.
Right. And I grab up my shield and I actually pull a few long javelins out from the wheelbarrow and start making my way over to the house.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of ready my great axe, and I'm gonna look over at Delilah and kind of like give like a little like and start following Quint over. Did you go around to the back of the house, or did you enter through the front? I can't remember which you did.
I misty stepped in the front.
Okay. And are we considered the front of the house now, or is this the back of the house?
You are at the front. Where you are is the front of the house. The house backs up to the lake.
Oh man, shit. Yeah, I guess. Quint, are we going into the house, or are we going around? Are we walking the perimeter?
I think I would
house.
Probably be walking up to the front of the house. Because I don't know if we exactly saw or know exactly where Ambrosia is.
No, we haven't gotten. Can the imp talk back to you? Like,
Beatrix and I can telepathically communicate.
All right, I'm gonna poke B and say, you need to ask where they are in the house. We need to know.
Hey, where are you?
I'm in the back of the house. Banshee scream! Banshee scream! Banshee scream!
I bust really running.
Wave over.
I can't swear on stream. Frickety frackety snickety snackety, I have bad plans. So Ambrosia is going to say, you're losing sleep over this issue with the college. I'm your subconscious and I'm telling you, it's a really big deal. Because there's a rivalry there that neither of you may have realized. You feel a sense of competitiveness with him for some reason. Just a subconscious need to compete. And that is why I'm here. I'm here to help you get a good night's sleep for the first time in a long time. You don't want his job, but you do want what he has. His items of things that are called the things that I forgot from last session.
His items of things that are called the things. Well, I honestly don't know what you're talking about. Like, not Martinez.
That cabinet of things that Martinez has.
Oh, yeah. But who gives them to him when we don't need them anymore?
You gave them to him, but you still need them. Don't you understand? They're important.
No, we had them reviewed.
Reviewed? And by whom did you get this review by? Can they be trusted to give you their best opinion?
Give me another deception check. This is
embarrassing. Nice! Dirty 20.
Okay.
This is the thing that I'm good at, lying.
No, that's fair. I appreciate that you're good at lying. What am I saying to my niece? See something here for him? Yes, D&D. Yes. But our organizations agreed to work together on this. It's too important.
It is very important. But perhaps seeds of doubt have been sown within your mind about his dedication to this importance. Somewhere along the line, trust has begun to wither. I was saying in my mind as well, Banshee scream! Banshee scream!
She's saying banshee scream. I don't know what that means.
I think
Sounds weird, right?
We were rushing in, is what is based
Okay.
on that.
All right,
I
so
think-
I'm going to say, I'm looking at the map and I'm forgetting, no, that's actually not the map. That's a render of the map. I'm going to say then that I think it's fair that at this point, Quint and Annabelle have burst to the front door.
Well, as soon as I heard them say, I'm around the back of the house, I would have grabbed Quint and started making my way around.
Okay, so you're over here then.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Delilah's just going through the front.
Delilah's the smart. Well, we've learned a long time ago Delilah's the smart one. Like, that's not.
Hey, what's this little area right here?
Like windows.
No.
Okay.
That's sort of a solar right here. Or a solarium.
Cute.
Are they in the room with me, or?
No, oh no, they're still around the other side of that. You don't even see them yet.
Great. What I'm gonna say is that I'm gonna assume that my companions have not left me for dead, although I respect it if you did. This is fair, and I'll say, hey, I'm not the only visage that will come to you. Representations of your inner strength, your inner animalistic nature, and your inner old decrepit woman will soon appear before you to make you face what you have tried so hard to deny.
Let's see.
I'm gonna ask you to make another deception check. That's just a reach.
Oh! Oh, thank God for advantage. Okay, 23.
He hoists the blunderbuss again. You're not the only one who's rolling with advantage.
Yep.
Listen, I've made mistakes in my life, but this is a little bit too far to believe. Alena! And you hear quick footsteps in the upper floor, somebody rushing down the stairs. Delilah, what are you doing?
I am waltzing on through the front, and I'm looking for my friend Jack. Or Jack, not. Well, yeah, they were last disguised as Jack. So
They're back as Ambrosia when they kind of have a downtime with you.
Okay, so I'm looking for them, and I'm walking forward and searching the house, listening for them.
Okay.
Listening in.
Oh, you heard him yell, for sure.
Okay, then I will eagerly hobble over to that direction.
Okay. You see a woman coming down the hall in front of you. Let me remind you what
Yikes.
she looks like.
Creepy!
Yay!
Nobody wants this.
And she
Oh,
stops
no.
and she says, "Why are you in my home?"
Me? Oh, I will say, I was invited. Same reason anyone comes to anyone's home.
Who invited you and why?
Martinez, I'm helping him with a special project.
Can you give me a deception check, please?
I don't know what I have for deception. This is not the version of Delilah. 17!
He really needs to do a better job of communicating with me. Very well. Let me show you. So, for those watching, this is his sister who wears a veil and has never been seen without a veil. since she was very small. Yeah, so she's going to escort Delilah in here. And she sees Martinez pointing a blunderbuss at himself. And stops and screams.
This must be what he called me to help with. Isn't that right, Martinez?
I've called no one.
I called you. I, Martinez, called your aid.
Alright, about this time... Oops.
So now I know which one's Ambrosia.
Quint and Annabelle, you're reaching the back door, which is open. And you can see inside. And you can see two versions of Martinez, this veiled lady, and Delilah.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I think Quint, at this point, he's going off of the assumption that things have gone pear-shaped, and I think it's like everybody's just waiting for somebody else to do something. So I think he's just going to burst through the door.
I am Iron Man.
I'm so sorry. I just.
At this point, Martinez whirls around, pointing a blunderbuss at you, puts an arm out to hold Elena back. She steps to the side. Why have you come to invade my home?
Quint, okay. Quint, is not really used to lying, but but he does say, the university sent us to we got word that something was going to happen here. Are you all right?
He points to his doppelganger behind him. No, this is an imposter. She must be taken for he must be taken for examination.
I point at Quint and go, "Aghast, you found me at last. This cat and mouse game between us must now end." And she's gonna say, "That is right. It is I." And I go into Jack, and I'm like, "The grand thief and renowned rogue, Jack von Haberstein."
And I go, "Aha!"
My God.
You have finally bested me, Quint. We have been hunting each other for the ends of the earth, but now this thread is up.
And I look over at Annabelle. I'm like, "My good friend, clap them in irons."
Oh, I rue this day I chose to rob this house.
His blunderbuss and just clocks Jack in the head with the butt. He doesn't shoot. He just knocks.
Annabelle is gonna go over. I do have a set of manacles on me, and I'm going to grab Ambrosia, or Jack, and put them in manacles and flip them over my my shoulder. Are they knocked out? Did that knock them out?
Annabelle, Ambrosia, you take 2 points in bludgeoning damage, or probably not.
I am not knocked out.
So I'm going to put you in manacles then, and sort of like swivel you around in front of me and start walking you toward Quint.
I stand to one side to give y'all enough room to get past, and then I look over at Delilah, and I'm like, "Oh, good, you're here too."
Buddy, we're doing great.
Elena is backed up, and you notice that not only is she wearing this veil, the whole time she's kind of like she doesn't ever look straight at you. she says, Martinez, how would you explain this? And he just shrugs because he's having pretty much the same reaction I am. Which is...
This will not be the last you hear of Jack von Haverstein.
Oh, I'm quite sure it's not. Oh. Of that, I'm certain.
Ambrosia
Who from the
mentally
university
catalogs.
sent you? He looks at Quint.
Quint is waiting until everybody gets out of the door and behind him. I'm like, we will take them to the university right away.
No, who sent you?
The dean, of course. He was concerned about somebody trying to investigate further into this matter.
Can you give me a deception check, please?
Oh boy. All right. Okay. Oh no. That would be a solid 10.
Dean Wolfstand, while a great man, did not send you. Of this I am completely sure. I think we should all have a chat. A friendly chat. He keeps the blender before him. Elena, ask them to put on tea. What's the phrase you say? Put a brick on or something?
Pop the kettle on.
You said something about a brick the other day.
Pop the brick on.
Yeah, that. Yeah, he says, yeah, have one of the maids put a kettle on. We've got guests.
I don't know if we have time for tea, but we could definitely make an appointment for later, once we have this one securely put away.
It's odd that you would be taking them back to the university rather than to the city watch.
Well, I did also steal something from the dean, so...
Oh, I'm certain of that, considering... Are your pockets bulging?
Are what?
Your pockets bulging as you came out of my basement.
No, trick of the light.
I look over at Annabelle. I'm like,
oh God. No. All right. It's cool. It's fine. I'm gonna look at Martinez. I think you are taking a mighty strange interest in this situation. We've been tracking this individual for quite some time. So if you could let us do our job, then we can certainly leave you and your family be. But we can't do our work unless you let us.
You're really hard to quiet. You're really quiet. It sounded like you were saying to let you do your job and do your work. Yes, but this is my home, and I'm not entirely convinced.
What?
It seems altogether irregular.
oh, I agree. It's quite irregular.
Hand has gone to her throat. Like, I almost feel like the nape of her neck, like, kind of fluttering a little bit. And she faints.
Does her veil fall off?
No. And he immediately turns to her.
Go, 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 go,
Yep.
go.
You all? Is that what you all do?
Are we running?
That's what I'm asking. I hear Ambrosia and Quint saying that. I'm asking Delilah and Annabelle, are you running?
I'm in manacles, so I'm following whatever Annabelle and Quint are doing.
Yep, I'm running.
Oh, God, y'all!
I'll be the rear guard.
Okay.
Jesus.
So he's gonna make one attack at disadvantage. But he's gonna hit Ambrosia. For 6 damage.
Oh, I think that means, yep, that is my HP that I had left. I am unconscious.
Now,
Y'all have a good time.
If they're in front of me, am I able to, like, catch them? And then can I sling them over my shoulder?
Yes.
I do that. And then I take off at a full sprint.
Okay. Alright, Delilah and Quint, what are you doing?
I am going to hold the door until Delilah is passed.
Hold the door!
Yes.
Oh no.
No!
So I'm at this point. I have the javelins put away, but I have the longsword and shield. I'm like, now, go.
I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on Jack, so you heal for 8, because I'm a Grave Cleric. 0, so you heal for 8, and I will use my action to dash the hell on out of there.
Okay. Yes. So y'all take off running off. He's attending to his sister. Ambrosia, you come to in Annabelle's arms.
What a beautiful way to wake up.
And you take off running. And I guess I'll move us back onto the main page.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I thought that went spectacularly.
Uh-oh. Wait, I left. Yeah, Quint, I guess as we're running, he suddenly gets a very haunted look on his face and says, "My wheelbarrow's back there."
Oh.
Wow!
Well, do you
R.I.P.
need it? Can we get you another wheelbarrow? Is it that important?
It's not. I hope it's not. I hope they don't tie it back to my shop.
Well,
R.I.P. wheelbarrow.
perhaps R.I.P. us.
Quint,
That was not great.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to move your clock up a couple of notches.
Oh,
Oh no!
oh God.
Uh-oh.
We're doing well.
So where do you head from here?
That is a good question.
So y'all went there, I think we determined it was like mid-afternoon. Do I remember right? Does that sound
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
By the time you get back to town, it's getting late in the evening. Where are you headed? And Cliff, are you still in your armor?
Yeah, I think. Oh, geez. Can we?
Come to the traveling carnival. See the metal man.
Dang. So, what? I think I'm going to, if we're going back to town, I'm going to take off my armor. Actually, no, I can't because I don't really have a good way of carrying it right now. Can we find like some sort of abandoned building, maybe?
Yeah, Ambrosia's gonna take you to the abandoned building that they live in. I really don't want to. but you did save their life.
Are
so
you, Ambrosia? Are you taking them all the way in?
I will take them in. I will show them to the abandoned thing I live in, and just kind of say, all right.
So, on your way there, can you all give me a group stealth check, please?
Stealthy.
To see how well people might notice you in this.
I'm so good at this. It's not like I have disadvantage or anything.
Are you wearing the medium?
I wear scale mail, yeah.
Oh, I didn't imagine her in that scale mail. Oh, that's
yeah.
Good.
No, she's a cleric.
That would be a unnatural 20.
Okay.
15.
Annabelle?
I got a 21.
Wow, that's not where I thought that face was going.
5.
Oh, God!
Dang it.
Okay. All right. You're not chased through the streets or anything. So that's good. Ambrosia, why don't you describe your home here?
So the outside of Ambrosia's home is what was once almost looks how I imagine it looks like how a casino would look in a D&D setting that clearly went downhill and has now been broken and kind of cracked in the walls of the windows are boarded up, but he knows how to get in through the back door or in through one of the windows. And it looks...
You live in an abandoned casino. Do I have that right?
Yes, I live in an abandoned casino.
Okay. All right. Do you take them to your room?
I take them to the bottom, and I'm going to look at them all and say, all right. There's a little bit of stuff upstairs. I don't want you to be worried about it, because it's only there for reasons that I don't want to tell you. So there's no need to worry.
All right, there's nothing concerning about what you just said at all.
Exactly, Annabelle. Annabelle gets it. And I'm gonna walk them upstairs and just be where the walls are plastered in these runes, and there's the pentagram rune in the center with these candles burning, and it's gonna walk up there and just gonna sit and be like, so this is my temporary lodgings. It's rather nice, as you can tell.
Did it come with the arcane runes, or did you have to pay extra in a kind of upgrade package during escrow?
When the refurbishing was in development, I had to pay a little bit extra, slip a little bit of bribe on the side for them to decorate. No, I did these myself.
Oh.
So I haven't necessarily mentioned everything, but we've only met recently, so I feel that is par for the course. And Ambrosia is going to drop part of their visage, and you see the runes that are like the ones on the wall are all tattooed down their arm. I've got to be very honest with you. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's there.
You don't even know what the runes are for.
I know what the runes and the walls are for.
What are they for?
I do not wish to be found by something that I believe wishes to find me.
And what kind of thing is that?
No, that was me, Matt. Don't worry.
That's okay.
Please.
The sentient dog that hunts me. You can hear its calls.
That's just a Mohawk Terrier.
So, Emerita, I don't precisely know. Just know it's there. I just know it wants something from me, and typically when somebody wants something from me, it's never very good.
Beatrix pops up out of your jacket. Oh, it's coming!
Thank you, Bee!
It's coming!
Okay, that's gonna push her back down again. As she said, it's coming, but I'm taking precautions.
I've been alive a pretty long time. I've seen a lot of different things. And these runes are interesting to me. Not as interesting to me as what a changeling, or I don't know what they're called in this world, but a changeling is doing in this, in the middle of Creed Hall.
Probably a fae. You would probably know them as a fae.
A fae. What a fae such as yourself is doing in the middle of Creed Hall. Where do you get your magic?
Ambrosia is incredibly uncomfortable telling anything about himself, although himself just says, I don't know. I don't know.
Fascinating. So, what did you learn in the mansion?
Right, mansion. Yes, good. Everybody downstairs, please. This is sort of my personal work area. And he's gonna grab the notebook and put it on the table and say, we've got one notebook, one brick candle, one scarred mermaid, and yeah, he has some clockwork things that don't really know what that's about, but there's a clockwork dog and a clockwork man.
Quint, that would sound familiar to you.
Yeah, Quint has since y'all found a place to actually stay. Quint has actually been dead silent since we entered the building. Sort of like uncharacteristically so, but the mention of the clockwork stuff, he shakes himself out of his stupor. It's a clockwork, you say? Can you describe it?
It's not really my forte, clockwork, but gears spinning, following me around,
Right.
the eyes and stuff. I managed to deceive them with my incredible fey powers that I was Martinez. That sort of backfired later on, but for them, they seem to obey Martinez.
Do I know much about clockwork? Like, would these two things spark any memories for me? Like anything that I might?
Yeah. You know that they are produced by the Incendiary Guild here in Krevborna, and that while expensive, they can be purchased for use as sort of either. Traditionally, they were used, especially the hounds, in hunting by the very rich, but also sometimes used as estate guards and whatnot. But you certainly, it sounds like things that you have seen before specifically. You don't even have to roll a check because you're Quint.
Do I know how they're triggered or how they're how they operate?
Yeah, they're given orders by their lawful master.
I say in a very distant voice. Once you sort of explain a little bit more about what they are, Quint again goes a little bit quiet, but then he says, "It's good you didn't trigger those. They can be very dangerous. If we go back there, I would suggest letting me take point.
Yes, Quint, darling, if we do go back there, I will be standing behind you the entire way. Because you have a giant set of armor.
Quint chuckles, sort of like nervously. It's like, that is true. It is true.
Anyways, I'm gonna go rest upstairs. So you three do what you need to do. I would request that you don't come upstairs. That is all. Good night.
And Quint sort of finds the nearest window and sort of stands there and looks out. He hasn't not gotten out of his armor yet.
It's about a quarter
Something
moon.
bothering you, Quint?
Quint takes off his helmet, sets it off to one side, and says, bothering, yes, I hope that all of these things are just coincidence. I shouldn't have brought my wheelbarrow. I'm afraid that I might have made things worse for us. And I don't know why I've put us all in danger.
How did you put us in danger?
I pick up the helmet again, and I sort of turn it so that you can see inside. And there is, like, you know how like armor and stuff has like a maker's mark. You see something on there, and I just sort of stare at it and I say, if we were to examine those machines that Ambrosia saw, you might see one of these marks on them. I'm reluctant to say more than that at the moment, but it could just be a coincidence. They could have just purchased those items, but that they're here it's troubling.
So you've made clockwork minions for people. A dog and some kind of humanoid figure with an axe.
Oh, those aren't my inventions, no. But let's just say that the Incendiary Guild, and I say that and it's like almost through gritted teeth, might take issue if they discovered that some of their missed opportunities are still here in Creed Hall.
Well, I'm not sure what we learned today that actually helped us investigate the matter. They've got clockwork minions. That's really terrific. I'm happy for them. But I didn't hear anything that actually furthered any of our current goals.
Grrr, notebook, grrr.
I don't know what that was.
It was the metagaming pigeon.
Which is unfortunate because I'm pretty sure we walked out of that house with very little information and no enemy and more enemies.
We did pick up a couple of things. Maybe those might reveal something. I go over to the notebook and I open it up.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
Right. Okay. Okay. This is one I am actually somewhat... Oh, no.
I'm going to give him guidance. It's a D4.
Okay. That would have been an 8, and then a D4. That brings it up to an 11.
While this notebook doesn't show the provenance of the items, it's clear that each page records the measurements and essays and testing done on various items to ascertain its magical properties, as well as any connections to other lore and legends and stories, trying to determine whether each item has what sort of uses it might have.
And these are all arcane, or they're mechanical in nature?
They are, let's call it arcano-mechanical.
Okay.
I mean, science and magic are really not that different. It's really a matter of, as Mythbusters would say, writing shit down.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna like mentally run through like Quinn's gonna like run through all of the proper nouns to see if anything comes up in his memories for like studying and stuff. Has he heard of any curiosities that the Incendiary Guild's been after, or things that is anything here something that they would have had investigations into?
No, this doesn't look like something the Incendiary Guild. You don't feel like this is from them.
Okay. I can't make heads or tails of this. I'm too. This has been a day, and I think he wants to hand. I think he hands the journal to Delilah, and he says, "This might be more your area of expertise."
You're too close to it. You're letting your emotions cloud your judgment. I shall read the thing. However, before I do, I'm going to cast Enhance Ability on myself with investigation in mind, apparently, or religion.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever.
That's fair.
Well, intelligence. Yeah.
Yep. Trying to get late. Sun is going down. The moon's coming out of the quarter moon.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
Now with advantage. Hey. Oh, yeah. 18.
18. You observe all the things that I mentioned to Quint, but there's something else. It's clear to you as you're looking through the different investigations and kind of integrating what you're reading through there. What they're really doing is they are looking for artifacts and items that are of an occult nature but are useful in fighting things that are themselves of an arcane nature.
Okay.
Like a fighting fire with fire approach.
Ah. Interesting. Fighting fire with fire. So they're fighting fire with fire. The nature of this notebook, does it say the kind of? I mean, I don't want to paint it as good versus evil, but do they write down like a specific faction, target, institution that they're warring with?
No, not like that. More that in general, they are looking for items that could help against different sorts of monstrosities and evils and threats of an I'll go so far as say of an eldritch nature, but not a specific faction like this group. It's useful against them. It's not like that. Yeah, with an 18, I think that's
okay.
Fair.
So I'm going to look up after I read that, pretty tired now, and I'm just going to sit there and think, because what's running through Delilah's mind is really more than necromancy. and I'm trying to piece it all together, or at least piece whatever he has together, because trying to figure out if Martinez is behind, if he would knowingly knew about what was going down in that church or not. And I'm just thinking about that before I go to
Annabelle,
bed.
while Quint and Delilah are undertaking this research in this notebook, and Ambrosia has gone upstairs to do whatever they do, what is Annabelle doing?
So actually, as Ambrosia started going up the stairs, I would have run after them and caught them on the stairway to speak to them away from Delilah and Quint. Now, Ambrosia, I know that we have seen each other when we are not at our best. And while I don't necessarily want to assume that I have any right to what's going on in your life, I do feel some level of, I feel a little beholden to you after what you have seen in me. And I guess I just want you to know that if there's anything that I can do to assist you in what you're facing and dealing with, I just want you to know that I'm here and I owe you. So that's all. I'm not sure if I can help, but I don't think it's easy to go through these things alone.
Ambrosia is going to kind of take a second and kind of look at you and, like, with your permission, like, put a hand on your shoulder and go, not really in the business of apologizing for other people. But what Delilah said to you about needing to cure you was wrong. You owe me nothing. I helped you because you were one of the few people that I actually wanted to help. And you, Annabelle, are many things: intelligent, resourceful, rather brilliant in a fight. And a monster you are not.
Well, that's very generous of you, Ambrosia. I thank you for that. I think Delilah has her own views on things, and she has a right to that. But I do appreciate what you're saying.
And as for what you said earlier about we've both seen each other not at our best, that is impossible. We're good-looking people. We always look our best. So, I mean that part we've seen each other at like a level. We're at like 10. We've seen each other at maybe a level 9.5.
I might disagree with you a little, but all right, I'll let that one go. So I wish you a good night, and know that whatever's coming. Wow, my accent just changed. Sorry.
I was like, wow.
Suddenly she moved from Tennessee to Georgia.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just making my way through the South. Whatever is coming for you, you won't have to face it alone.
And the same for you. If anyone tries to give you any crap, I will Eldritch Blast them in the face. And then steal their wallet.
Well, thank you. And with that, I will head back downstairs to Quint and Delilah and
Delilah has tea.
Always has tea.
For a second, I was like, "What's the gossip?" But then I realized he meant. I was like, he means actual tea. Got it. And I will attempt to assist them with whatever research that they are doing as they read through the notebook. And I have a proficiency in religion. I don't know if that's helpful.
Not at the moment, but I'll say. So the three of you pouring over this notebook, yeah, you've determined that whoever made these notes and these investigations, as noted, is looking at trinkets and artifacts with an eye to determine whether or not they hold any arcane or magical uses, and if so, to what ends those items might be utilized in either tracking or detecting or fighting against various magical threats, including those that they might not already be familiar with. There's not an indication necessarily of who wrote it, at least not directly, right? You can certainly probably draw some conclusions. And as the evening turns to night, and you can see the lake, the moon, while still only at quarter, you can see the moonlight reflecting on Loch Riven there. Even from Quit's shop, I think there's at least some place where they can see the lake. It may not be right on the shore. Or still, you're not in Quit's shop. You're in Ambrosia's. Oh yeah, from Ambrosia's warehouse. You're definitely sort of in a dock type district. However, Delilah, as you look out onto the lake, you see a vision reflected in the water, right where the moon is. A vision of a terrible moment in your life. A vision of a moment that has forever changed you. What does that vision look like?
A terrible moment in my life that forever changed me.
You know exactly which. I'm talking about that moment.
Well, I have a couple in mind.
Fair.
But what I will say is, at first I am alone in a hut in a village that has been emptied. And then I wander. And I wander out to the woods, where I find a coven of witches. And I learn from them. And I change my ways.
Sorry, I'm distracted by Ginger.
She's pretty good.
She's great. So, Annabelle and Quint, and I don't know if Ambrosia's looking out a window, you see this vision in the water yourselves as well.
Like, so we're looking at the lake, or
yeah, if you look out the window, you can see sort of a montage of Delilah as described.
So we're looking at Delilah looking at this.
If you look out the lake, you see Delilah leaving an empty village and conferring with witches.
But she's also still in the room with us.
Yes, this is just it's like, imagine like a projection on the wall. Right? It's clearly not a vision like it's visible to you. It's like it's actually on the wall, like the picture is on the water.
Delilah, can you? What are we seeing here?
Delilah reaches for her coffee mug and she spills the tea.
I knew it! There is tea!
Well, we're going to take a quick break for some coffee and tea. And when we come back, Lila can spill whatever tea that Matthew chooses, and then you can think about how you're going to continue your investigation, what you're going to do. You have a number of things, a number of threads to pull, or you could, go with new avenues.
Ginger has rushed by my side because she knows the DM is getting at my backstory. She's literally right here.
That's great. That's great. We love you, Ginger. We love you. All right, so we will be right back. See y'all in a minute. And we're back, delicious friends. Enjoying brunch. Ah, very good. That's not tea, but we're enjoying the tea, aren't we? Oh, we are. So we've seen a vision of Delilah conferring with the coven of witches. We've seen Quint telling us a little bit, opening the door just a little bit as to what he fears. Ambrosia admitting that they really don't know much at all about who they are and what they're doing. And Annabelle just being supportive and loving and a friend in need. A friend in times of need, I should say. So, it's getting late. Ambrosia's still upstairs. The three of you are downstairs in this old abandoned early modern era casino. What do you do next?
So I'm reaching for my tea, and as I spill it, my hand is kind of shaking as I kind of grab the cup of tea and go to lift it and set it in front of me and try to pour some more. Yeah. And then I sip it.
What? Are you a witch?
Just gonna ask right out like that. All right.
I stand up. I look over my shoulder, shoot an eye over to Clint. It's quit it, Kyle.
The worst.
Kyle's giving me shit in Zoom chat, folks. Okay. I look over my shoulder and kind of slowly turn. There are obviously things I haven't told you. Yes, I am a witch. Or at least, for a time I was. I was part of the coven. I made up a coven name, if that's okay, Kyle. Yeah.
Oh, the more all four of you do like that, the better it is for me. Yes. Good. Feel free.
I was a member, or still am, depending on who you ask, of the Witches of Harkenblood. My village was destroyed. I was the last person left. I was very alone. And I felt my God had abandoned me because I tried so hard to heal and to save people. They all kept dying. So I looked for answers somewhere else. Secrets somewhere else. I was away from civilization for a very long time.
Quint pours Delilah more tea. And he says, I'm not a stranger to pasts that you want to escape. And You've certainly helped me quite a bit these past few days. I would be remiss if I grew suspicious, which I am not. I think there's a lot of coincidences happening right now. Is there anything we can do to help?
What's done is done. It's in the past. If the vision continues, the introduction ceremony is going to be the witches sacrificing some kind of animal and basically giving Delilah some kind of ritualistic bloodbath as she's naked. She's just covered in like goat's blood.
how much younger? Because like Delilah's an old woman right now. How?
Delilah was late 30s when it happened, so it was about 20 years ago when she first got inducted. So yeah, you just see Delilah, like a younger Delilah, getting inducted into the coven as she talks to you, and she's like, the chanting and all that, and the blood is pouring over her body.
Yeah, so that just happened.
No.
Knox. Stop it.
So
Chat is the worst.
Chat's the best. Chat's half the reason to play this game the way we do.
It's true.
So I think the vision ends there.
Okay.
Vision
perfect.
on the water ends there.
I am less concerned about your history and your past, as I think, as Quint said, we all have something that we carry with us that we are either trying to escape or that we must bear the burden of. I am more concerned that we witnessed a vision on this lake that previously birthed undead. So I would be concerned that there is something going on with the lake itself at this point, and I'm unsure of the root of that, but that is where I believe we should be directing our attentions.
And Quint looks up as well and says, I agree this is also not the first. When I was unconscious, or not conscious, when I had those boils, I also had a dream regarding the lake. And I saw these giant mechanical arms burst out, reach into the lake, and pluck out handfuls of undead and deposit them in the city. I thought it was just I think it's a little bit more than a dream, maybe. I am concerned, especially with, as Annabelle mentioned, what we just saw, which I don't know if anybody else has seen in town.
Right. So the clockworks, the clockworking is connected, if your dreams are to be believed. The clockworking is connected to the zombie experiments.
If the Incendiary Guild is a part of this.
You said that name before. Who are the Incendiary Guild?
They're, let's just say, they like to be on the cutting edge, and they don't care who cuts or who that edge cuts.
Do they have a base in Creed Hall?
One of the reasons why I decided to set up shop here in Creed Hall is I thought that was not the case. I hope that is still the case.
This is a wretched country.
Ambrosia has been they saw the vision, and for this entire conversation they've been sat on the stairs just listening to everything, like hiding away, and kind of chooses that moment to go, is everyone else having the dream about naked Delilah, or is it just me?
I'll shout back. I was quite the dish when I was younger, wasn't I?
You're still the dish now, darling. One of these days, Delilah, I will convince you to run away with me.
I just want to point out that we've now established that Delilah's apparent age, at least, is in what, her early 50s?
Late 50s.
Not necessarily that old, just saying.
Yeah. True, that's true. Well, I always assumed for a country like this that is advanced.
Yeah, it's a hard,
Yeah, that's
hard
yeah.
life.
Right. Yeah. No, not by our standards. It's not even old. But in Krivborna, living to 57 is a treasure.
Instead of a heat index, it's an age index.
Yeah, and it's a hard 57. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Yeah, gonna go down the stairs and be like, all right, I do feel a lot better now that I all know we're a bunch of weirdos. Good to know, good to know. Delilah,
What?
I am not a trusting person, but I've never doubted your help, and that has not changed. Plus, I have runes all over my body and like a weird thing going on upstairs, so judging isn't really my style. You do what you do.
I cannot abide this. I don't know how these powers all line up, but I cannot abide this undead menace to spread. That's why I'm in this. I don't quite understand how, but I believe in dreams. I believe in visions. I think if you had that dream, I think it's the spirits or the gods or whoever speaking to you directly, Quint. I think it tells us that Martinez, in whatever way, is behind the undead menace. So we need to deal with Martinez, and find this, what's his name, Dr. Finkelstein? No, that's my campaign. Dr. Bertram Kipling.
I think you're right. I think maybe the good doctor might, maybe the not so good doctor might have some things to say.
Let's find him and get him to spill the beans.
And then we steal the beans and sell those beans.
Yes, sure thing, Jack. Sure thing.
I think at this point, Quint is feeling a little bit more grounded, but he goes over to Annabelle and he's, I think I might stay up a bit. Do you mind if I work on your axe?
I am never going to say no to that question, Quint.
Thank you. I think I need some time to process all of this. And he goes over to a corner of the room and just gets in his zone. He just kind of blanks out with the axe and the armor and stuff.
Annabelle, did you make sure to adorn that cloak and attune to its properties?
I did.
Okay.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You're the only one here who can fight, so we need to keep you healthy.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie to you. At that moment, I realized, oh, I've got a deck of illusions. That would have been helpful. I forgot I had that.
Yes. Every D&D player ever.
Wow.
Oh, look at this thing I could have solved this problem with. Here we are.
Just gonna put it in my notes in capitals.
All magic items are actually cursed to make the player, not even the character, forget, but the player to forget that they exist.
Right.
Deck of illusions.
The illusion was that was it really there?
The real illusion was the bonds we made along the way.
That's right.
Oh no.
It's not great.
So that sounds like maybe y'all are breaking up and heading back to your respective sleeping areas of various sorts.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we were, yeah. Well, I thought we were taking an extended rest in the abandoned shack.
That's
We're
up to
having
you.
a
Certainly up to you.
You know.
You can have a, I mean, I'm not telling you where to go by any means. I'm just trying to understand, that's all.
Oh, understood. Yeah, Delilah does not. Delilah, for the first time since moving here, doesn't feel safe in her home. So she's going to, at least for tonight, while the heat is on her, she wants to take her bedroll out and sleep on the floor of the abandoned casino.
Yeah, Quint's gonna sleep here as well. He's tired, stressed.
Yeah, so here's what I'm gonna do.
Oh no.
I'm gonna tick forward a couple of clocks.
Oh no! They're all gonna go live at the same time at this rate.
I'd really rather you didn't, actually,
Yeah.
Kyle.
What if instead you didn't?
Hear us out.
Fair
Mm.
point. Fair point. Counterpoint. What if I do though?
Have you, Kyle?
Tick
Oh,
Goatbane forward by 1.
Yeah, the old goat maid.
Already ticked forward Incendiary Guild. Dr. Bertram Kipling is definitely ticking forward 1.
Cool.
Cool.
good.
Great.
I think the oncoming storm
Oh!
fills up.
Oh no! That's a full clock.
Oh
Well,
There's been some things, like, it's not like randomly, right? Just, oh, which one do I want to advance? I think about what's been happening and what drives those things. So, there's one other thing. So that night while you're sleeping, Annabelle.
Oh no.
no! Oh no!
No, we don't have to. It's okay.
Annabelle, you have a dream.
Cool.
Annabelle, in your dream, you see this huge, hulking, beast-like man. Just, it's got a broad chest, but also a large belly. Wears a heavy, heavy leather apron. Has cleavers in each hand. And has this horned, animalistic head. And yes, actually, it is the Butcher from Diablo. Good, Matt. This is why we're friends. Annabelle, you see the Butcher from Diablo. Clashing his cleavers together. Fresh meat.
The worst.
But as he is doing this, you see yourself and your family just wantonly shedding the blood of everyone around you. Raid! It's a raid!
Oh,
Raid! Hello, Goldheart baby! You see him chanting, and all of you are just compelled just to rip and shred everyone around you and consume their flesh. And you feel compelled to indulge in this chaos in your dream. You wake up at the start, shaking and sweating, and you realize it's just a dream. This isn't the first time you've had this dream. It comes on a fairly regular basis when you have difficulty maintaining control. But it's still the middle of the night. The thing that you notice, however, is that when you went to bed, it was a completely cloudless sky. It was completely just the moon and a clear night sky, the stars shining down. Storm clouds have began to gather. Storm clouds that you had not previously seen. No, in fact, it's you know, from our view, it looks like when we see a time-lapse video of a storm coming, being like sped up, you know, several hours in a few minutes, and just the clouds, and with a loud crack of thunder, water begins to pour down from what was moments before a cloudless sky. Val, you don't have to stress eat.
Well, we might.
What do you do?
All right, so I am going to did the loud crack wake anybody else up that I can see?
I don't. Would a loud, sudden crack of thunder woken anyone else up?
Sorry, go on.
think
No, I'm
Quinn's-
asking all three of you, Ambrosia, Quentin, Delilah.
How is this in the middle of the night?
Yep.
No, I think Quint's dead asleep.
Fair.
Ambrosia is sitting cross-legged in their circle. Their eyes are white, and they're just sitting in a meditative position. And when the crack of thunder goes, they blink. And the cards that have been levitating before them fall to the ground. And there are 3 facing upwards. And the 3 that are facing upwards are reverse. Moradith in reverse, Nephemius upwards, and Florentine upwards. So despair, discouragement, change, transition, and alliance, inspiration.
What do those mean?
They mean it's either going to go really well if we work together, or disunity will end up destroying us.
And Delilah, do you wake up?
Yeah, Delilah wakes up from a crack of thunder. She wakes up from a lot of things.
So upon seeing Delilah awake then, I'm gonna pretty quietly go over to her. I think we may have an unusual storm outside. This rolled in very quickly.
Delilah looks over to her armor that she had to take off before she napped. Magical storm? Is there anything else outside? And I'll step up to the window and look out the window to see if I can see anything.
Give me a perception check, please.
Cool. Cool. 14. Yeah, 14.
Out on the lake, it's hard to see from here exactly what it is. Is it a tornado? Is it just a water vortex? Is it just the rain particularly concentrated in an area? But on the lake, you could see something gliding towards the city.
Shit.
Uh-oh.
Gonna go put on my armor.
Quint's still snoring.
I'm gonna actually start walking up the stairs, but I'm gonna like knock on like the wall loud enough to try and get Ambrosia's attention without entering like their territory. Ambrosia, please tell me you're up. Are you awake?
Ambrosia is currently looking out of the window and just goes back. I'm alright. I'm awake. And they're gonna look at B and say, do you know what this means?
Maybe.
Beatrix Expelliarmus. You tell me right now what this means.
It's not my place to say, but I told you somebody's been watching you.
Well, was a good run.
Oh, no, you don't have to be like that. No,
I mean,
no, no.
B, there is a whirling vortex heading towards this city.
Yeah? Hey, hey. Ambrosia. Ambrosia.
Yes, dear?
All I got to say is, are you sure you don't know what that is? Are you sure?
Oh! Rickety frackety snickety snackety!
Are you sure? Because I think you do. Maybe you don't, but you kinda do. A little bit. Somewhere inside. It's not really a surprise, is it? And you can see, as you look out the window, this vortex getting closer and closer, coming straight toward your house. It doesn't seem, as it crosses over onto the dock, it doesn't seem to be destroying anything. It's not like it's wreaking destruction. It's just gliding towards you.
I suppose you're right. I'm going to misty step to the ground below.
And under the rain?
Yep.
Alright. It's just, you are soaked immediately. It's just pouring rain. After what had been a crisp, cool fall day. As the vortex gets closer, it starts to shrink somewhat. Not all the way down. Maybe the size of a building rather than towering. And you see a beautiful person wearing, as if their clothes themselves were dark clouds with ethereal features, hair not unlike your own. And when he speaks, it's as if the rumbling of thunder given voice. My child, look what you have become.
I'm afraid I am no one's child.
Oh.
I am nobody. That is who I am. I am no one.
Oh. For so long you have labored ignorant of your own heritage and your legacy. And he kneels down toward you. You are my legacy. The legacy of the Tempest Prince. I have been watching you. You have set yourself on a great path. Let yourself be free. Let yourself give in to your impulses. All that stands before you can be wiped away. And as he says that, there's an extra strong sheet of rain that drives forth all of the debris and detritus and trash in the street in front of you. And now the street, while still running with water, is as clear and uncluttered as it's ever been. You are the oncoming storm. And you are a child of Vorsh. And from this day forward, you will do what you wish and what I wish.
Do you know what I am? Do you know my name? Never had a name.
In time, you will learn more. This will not be the last time we speak. But now I wish to see what you will do with this mote of knowledge I have given you. Trust in your friend and trust in your power and your impulses. Do you understand?
Ambrosia nods.
Very well. There's another crack of thunder, even louder than the last one. And with that, the rain ceases. And in moments, the clouds clear. And it is once again a clear moonlit night. The streets are soaked. Your clothes are just drenched all the way through. There are no more clouds. What do you do?
Ambrosia is honestly just going to stand there.
The other three of you saw, if you looked out the window, this person, this storm in the form of a person, kneeling and speaking to Ambrosia. And then you certainly saw the storm disappear. What do you do?
First of all, I would not have woken Quint up. If he woke himself up, that's fine. But if I would have looked over and seen that if he hadn't woken up to that and that this didn't seem like a threat, I was going to leave him sleeping. I look over at Delilah. Did we hear what the storm was saying to Ambrosia? Could we understand it? Or
that you could, you know what? Give me a perception check. That's fair.
Okay.
It's going to be difficult, but if you were trying to make it out.
16.
You could tell that it was rumblings of thunder, and it sounded odd to you, as if it were someone speaking, but you couldn't make out the words themselves.
Okay. I would have looked over to Delilah. Well, it didn't seem necessarily like an enemy.
I will stop putting on my armor and just kind of walk over to the window in my little night robe and just watch the scene unfold. Rain pouring down, just kind of staring discerningly. And that's what I do.
That last crack of thunder probably woke Quint up a little bit. He sort of... What? Is it everything okay?
Yep, everything is fine, sweetheart. You go back to bed, okay?
As Ambrosia is standing there and just kind of the rain kind of goes around them, they've got raindrops on their face, but no one can see it. Their eyes are white and they've got what could be raindrops but could also be tears going down their face, and their markings on the runes around them begin to writhe and move and start to glow as they just stand there and tip their head towards the sky and just look at the sky.
I think that Annabelle might open the door and peek her head out. You all right out there?
Doesn't respond.
I'm gonna leave the door open, but go back inside.
Eventually, the markings begin to slowly dim, and they stop moving. And Ambrosia's eyes are going to go back to their usual. They have very grey eyes anyway. So they go back to their traditional grey eyes. And they're just going to... Honestly, I don't even... They can't really move. They have no idea what's happening.
Delilah is going to walk out into the rain and the mud and slowly walk up to Ambrosia and just stand like 3 or 5 feet behind them, kind of over their shoulder. In the pouring rain. And going to put a hand, and after a little while, we'll put a hand on Ambrosia's shoulder, on their shoulder.
Ambrosia is going to jerk, like they didn't realize you were there. And then is just going to slowly look at you, and their face is completely wrecked, and they're like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I am. Delilah, what am I?
Ambrosia, darling. You're lost. Just like the rest of us. Come inside. It's raining. But, and I'm going to take her by the shoulder, and say, but after some time, if you're patient, sometimes with a little prayer, there will be a dawn. I'm going to escort them, if they're willing, into the inside.
They kind of surreptitiously, and Ambrosia is very platonically flirtatious and very just okay that they've never been touchy-feely, sort of, but right now they sort of cling to you like you're a lifeline.
While Delilah was out with them, I would have been looking around for a blanket or a towel or something down here. And as soon as I see Ambrosia enter, I'm gonna hand it to them.
There's an old, worn-out, threadbare, sort of slightly mildewed, dry blanket.
Delilah will say, Storm's here. Let's all bunker down. Get some rest.
Ambrosia kind of, when you say Storm's here, laughs. It's half hysterical laughter and half actually finding it funny. And you just start to laugh.
I'll brew some more tea. Help everybody sleep.
And I think with that, you can conclude your long rest in the morning. Those of you who need to recover hit points.
The oncoming storm only has HP.
Not quite.
Yeah. Delilah always has spell slots to recover. Always.
At least this time it was only a handful.
Yeah.
Unlike earlier sessions. In the morning, the day dawns bright and clear, a little bit chilly. Uncharacteristically bright and clear, actually. Normally, these days um, are typically somewhat cloudy and overcast. But today, there's a little bit of extra sunshine. The morning is yours.
Quint wakes up really early, as is usual. He finishes working on whatever he was working on last night. And is there any Val or Ambrosia? Is there any food in this place? Like, is there like places to cook or anything?
There's caviar in the fridge, darling.
Quint makes everybody breakfast.
Oh.
And he also spends some time looking through the journal again, just to take another read through it before everybody else wakes up.
Caviar, pancakes,
Oh,
champagne beans.
Delicious.
fish cakes
Fish cakes.
and tea. Fish cakes and tea. Oh,
That sounds like something Val would normally have on a Tuesday.
That is the summary of this party: fish cakes and tea.
fish cakes and
Terrible. That's the worst.
So in the morning, what do you want to do?
I'm just preparing a few spells. That's what Delilah's doing right now.
Sure.
I'm also going to say that Quint probably worked on everybody's gear a little bit, so let's see. If you want, Delilah and Ambrosia, you can either take a weapon effect or an armor effect. Weapon could be +2 to melee or +2 to range weapon damage. If it's armor, you can either get temp HP or some damage reduction.
Damage reduction, please.
Okay, you get -2 damage reduction to physical damage for the next hour.
Spot on.
Awesome.
Was I included in that? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I will take the damage reduction.
Okay, -2 damage reduction to physical damage for the next hour.
Okay, thanks. My armor looks
For those
lovely.
wondering,
Quint, thank you.
for those watching and wondering, we're playtesting a new class of Adam's design, of Quint's design, and we're just looking to see we're just giving things a shot because, that's what I'm doing with all my stuff. I'm trying to do things.
So far, it's working out perfectly. Ish.
Season 2 will be all of us playing all of my queer subclasses.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't even joke about that, man. We'll do it.
So Annabelle, I'm curious, what are you doing this morning?
This morning, I probably would have woken up relatively early as well, and I actually would have probably gone for a walk in the morning. How far away are we from the lake where we are at Ambrosia's?
Probably 2 or 3 blocks.
Okay, I would have walked over to the lake, and not necessarily looking for anything super specific, but it would have been just sort of like wandering around looking for anything that seemed out of place, if the water seemed weird, if there were any like strange creatures or anything funky, sort of just walking around.
So give me a perception check if you don't mind.
Yeah. Okay. 16.
The water looks normal. The local fishermen are going about their activity. Something catches your eye, which is a large silver-haired dog. Like, not just like a white dog or gray dog, but I mean that the dog's fur almost refracts the light. It's such a brilliant silver. and you see it kind of padding around the docks area, looks towards you for a moment, and kind of pads around the corner. And a moment later, from behind that same corner, appears Hester, Mother.
I will go ahead and walk toward them.
Hello, dearie. Now, for those, she's not walking like hunched over. She's an older woman who stands very straight and strong and proud. And she says, "We have a slight problem. Just a small one. Probably just keep things quiet. But you remember that whole to-do back at your bar?
Yeah.
Somebody's been asking questions. Somebody's been around there kind of asking about what happened. I don't know exactly who this man is. I don't. But I can make some guesses. I bet you can make the same guesses.
Can I?
Oh, come on, Annabelle. You're smarter than this.
Am I?
Well, okay. Now I'm pretty sure, but let's just get out of the open. There are those who come looking for people like us, whether it's for the bounty or for some sense of hunting monsters. But there's people who come looking for us, and when somebody's asking around a place where we were seen, and then, well, I just don't want you to get in any trouble. We're gonna lay low for a little bit. We're just about a week away.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what to do. I haven't been in a town for quite some time, but
Clearly.
it was a while that I was out in the wilderness. I'm sorry, kinda. But all right. I will try to lay low. If you hear anything else, will you find me and tell me if I don't run into you first?
Assuming that I'm still in town. It might not be the worst idea to leave town for a little while, let things kind of cool down. But, it's up to you. Why are the streets wet?
There was quite a storm last night. Surprised you missed it.
Ambrosia. Well, at my age, we sleep lightly, but, well, I guess it didn't wake me up. Surprised there's not many clouds left. Well, you just be careful, Annabelle.
All right. I'll try.
That's a good girl. She turns and walks off down the street. I love Hester.
Pretty delightful.
And
with that,
after a moment, after she passes behind some crates, you see that silver wolf, walking away.
I'm gonna head back to the homestead.
Fair. Quint, after you work on their equipment, what are you doing? Where are you going?
Pass out food to everybody. See how everybody's doing. And then I think Quint is. How far away are we from Quint's Essentials?
Next district over, it's not that large. Less than a mile, maybe a mile, tops.
sounds like it might be too far to like walk there and walk back. Like, how long do you think that might take?
To walk there and walk back, less than an hour.
I think Quint's gonna. I'm gonna act like. Are we planning on doing anything? Do we need to talk first? I was thinking of checking on my shop, but if we think we're going to do something, that's not emergency.
I mean, you could take some time to yourself. We have to be able to take time to ourselves. But we need to find Dr. Bertram Kipling, find out what he knows. That's what I would like to do at some time today or this evening.
I think let's concentrate on that. Maybe we can check on my shop on the way back from wherever we're going.
Do we have a lead on Dr. Bertram? We do.
Was there any similarities between, like, did we see any similarities between the stuff that was mentioned in the book and the artifacts or anything that we saw in the church?
Do any of you remember that when you were in the church, there was a sheaf of papers that you took?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have the sheaf of papers, don't I?
I believe you do.
Yeah, I thought I went over those with the lady. Okay.
No one's looked at this sheaf of papers.
I will look at the sheafs. I will search my pockets.
Can I give advantage?
Yeah, you both can be looking through it. Can Delilah give me an investigation check with advantage, please?
Sure. Okay. God bless advantage. 20 total.
That's good. So, first, the obvious, the part that didn't require the check. These are a series of letters to Dr. Kipling, warning him in increasingly urgent terms to cease and desist his research. And while they aren't signed, they're all written in the same hand. And the paper that they're on, this is what some of your investigation checks, when you kind of hold it, has a watermark on the paper. And the watermark on this paper looks like this.
Does that bring anything to mind to any of us?
Why doesn't Quint give me a history check?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the watermark, and I'm gonna look at Quint because this looks exactly like his wheelhouse.
7 plus 5, that'd be a 12.
You've seen it before. You're not sure what it is. It's not associated with the guild.
I'd mentioned that right
away. With your background, I will tell you, you recognize the equipment that it represents, right? The sort of electrical coil with, the globe at the top and electric arcs coming out from it occasionally. In real life, we call this a Tesla coil. I don't think Nikola Tesla lived in Krivborda. That's what it is. You've seen it before. You know it's associated with some group uses it, but you don't know much about them.
I relay all this, and I mention there's another wrinkle to this whole thing. How many?
I'll also tell you with your investigation check, because you got a pretty good roll on that, Delilah. The subtext here in these letters is that while they appreciate the end goal of Dr. Kipling's research, his methods and materials are completely unacceptable and they want him to kind of get back with the program. That subtext is important, I think.
Did we suss out what Dr. Kipling's goal was? Life extension, or did we ever suss that out?
I don't think y'all. I don't recall y'all having discussed that. I could be wrong. I've had a few since then. No, I'm just kidding. No. Yeah. No. I think that's up to that's a decision that y'all have to make.
What do we think Dr. Bertram was trying to accomplish other than apparently summoning zombies?
I'm not certain at all.
Maybe it was this business about fighting fire with fire. They wanted foot soldiers.
Possibly. And okay, so we saw the equipment that he had access to was from the Rosalbas. And
what you saw was that some of his crates had the Rosalba family crest on them.
Yes.
They aren't like
on the actual facts on the ground.
Yeah.
They're not like a crate making family, are they? they sell barrels. That's it. We never really asked where their money came from.
I don't think you did ask that.
Oh, okay.
We sell
that would be embarrassing.
We sell crates and crate making accessories.
Yeah, it'd be like going after a barrel manufacturer.
We've already ascertained that Hank Hill lives in this city.
That's right.
He's Annabelle's cousin Henry.
Yeah, no, I don't know what this could. I don't know what the connection here is. I think maybe my friend might be able to tell me who this watermark belongs to. Certainly might be able to recognize handwriting if he's had any communication with whoever wrote this letter.
At least you could tell us what faction is involved in it. That would help.
Absolutely.
We could perhaps reach out to them if they aren't too nefarious and offer our services in finding Dr. Bertram. Not your friend.
Yeah.
The people who the watermark belongs.
All right. I guess we should go check and see what that is. Get some more information.
Who are you going to go ask? Are you going to go ask your
my contact,
Brother Ruskin?
Brother Ruskin. I'm gonna. If any, I don't know if anybody's gonna come with or whatnot, but that's one of the things I have on my to-do list this morning.
All right. Is anyone going to go with Quint to go visit his friend?
Delilah definitely wants to go.
So, as last week, the monastery where you go is a monastery / smithy, right? They have a forge and a foundry and all of this. And when you go in, you can see various acolytes, hammering away at their anvils or heating up things or, pulling on chains, working on large equipment. Brother Ruskin is a short, squat, stout man with, reddish skin. And sees you first, gives you a welcome. Then when he realizes that you're not alone, he doesn't stop smiling, but his smile kind of freezes for just half a minute. He doesn't, and then he walks over, kind of, well, hello, hello, my friend Quint. Perhaps you could introduce us to your friend.
Yes. Matt, again, what denomination is Delilah a cleric of again?
So just a quick note. In this region, in this land, ostensibly, everyone is a is associated with the Church of Saintly Blood.
Okay.
Much like, pre-Reformation, ostensibly in most of Europe, they were assumed to be Catholic. Of
Yeah.
course, there are different factions within that and so forth, and it's certainly not monolithic, and certainly that assumption doesn't actually always hold true.
Okay, so if I don't know her sect, I mention this is my good friend Delilah, and she knows a bit, and I've taken her into my confidence, partially.
I
Yeah,
see, I see. Well,
it's a
there,
pleasure.
Sister Delilah, it's my pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And your name?
I am
Oh, this is
Brother
Brother
Ruskin.
Ruskin. I apologize.
It's
Yes.
all right.
Welcome to the Order of Saint Florentine, the keepers and shaper of the flame. Very well, Quint. What brings you with your friend to visit us on this fine morning?
I need your eyes and your mind. Delilah, do you have the papers?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I hand Brother Ruskin the papers. Do you recognize the watermark?
I do. Starts going to the letters, scanning them very quickly. Where did you get these?
You remember when I mentioned there was that issue at the docks?
I do.
Myself and my friends found these papers in a church nearby.
In a church, you say?
An old church.
Well,
And they were in the presence of the very same creatures that attacked the docks.
oh, this is some bad doings here. And I can't say that I know a lot about them, but this mark is familiar to me as the Promethean sparks.
Oh, buddy. Everything in this world sounds sinister. Oh, the Evil Brotherhood? They mostly do charity. It's the Sisters of Slaughter you have to watch out for.
Promethean sparks, I don't trek with them much. They are a bit blasphemous,
What for? I've seen their mark a few times in the past, but my memory's a little fuzzy on these things. What are they after? What do they want?
Well, you see, they seek. Well, they think themselves gods. They think that gods are nothing but a pile of secrets, and that if they could uncover those secrets, they could discover the secret of created life, constructed beings like those we make here, and those made by some of your associates, but actually alive. Now, they're not all bad. They do say they seek to make these things for good purposes. But I tell you, rejecting the gods and the saints is not the way to go.
No.
Seems.
I was just going to say, no, it's certainly not.
I nod and I say, it seems like there are societies popping up all over the place that are wanting to move forward and damn the consequences.
These are dark times we be living in. With the gods, well, not as present as they once were. Which you all know is sort of an understatement. Most people outside of the church, proper, just assume the gods are either dead or just have gone forever.
I can't believe we're in our 5th Dark Age already. We just got over the last one.
And these are dark times, difficult times. But it's by depending on the saints and the angels that we're going to get through this and bring back the light.
Do you know if the Promethean Brotherhood has any presence in Creed Hall?
Oh, everyone's got presents here.
Huh.
The university brings all types from all over.
The
We're
university.
not, seaside. Not quite like our friends over in other cities. But, well, Pescaro or not, there's everyone here. So, you must be careful. You're looking for the Promethean sparks. Well, I don't know what to tell you. But, sounds like maybe they're looking for the same person you are.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Ruskin. This helps a great deal.
Indeed. Well, I appreciate it, and I hope that you can bring to heal whatever's plaguing our city before it gets worse.
I hope. I have to say, I never expected to be so public about all of this.
Well, that's a risk that you're taking.
It is.
In any case, saints be with you.
Thank you.
Can you do me a favor, Quint, as you're leaving? Can you make me a perception check, please?
Absolutely. That'd be 14 plus 3, 17.
You keep feeling like you're being watched, but every time you look around, you don't see anybody.
I linger a little bit as we're exiting the monastery.
Yeah, it's once you get outside the monastery. Yeah.
So is my shop on the way from the monastery to Ambrosia's?
If you want to drop by, you can drop by.
Okay. I asked Delilah, do you mind if we take a quick stopover?
I'm just here to assist you, Quick.
Okay. Thank you.
As you're doing that, a question for Ambrosia and Annabelle. As these two are off doing that, what are you two off doing?
When Ambrosia wakes up, they kind of get up and instinctively do the shifting to cover their runes, and then sort of thinks about it for a second, and then just lets it drop so that everyone can see the runes.
Okay.
And Ambrosia is also going to, as Annabelle went for a walk earlier, Ambrosia is going to leave briefly and go to the university.
Very well, then. And
For
Annabelle?
a reason. They have a lot of books there, and a storm cloud dude just said, "You are my legacy." I'm gonna go research that name.
That's fair. That's totally fair. Annabelle, what are you doing?
Would I have returned in time to see Ambrosia do this, is my question, or do they do this while I was out walking?
Ambrosia is going to start to go, and then go back, and then wait at the front door, and when they see you coming, they start walking again, and be like, "Oh, Annabelle, darling, I almost missed you."
So we're going to leave this here. When we pick up next week, Annabelle and Ambrosia will get to Creed Hall University, and Delilah and Quint will arrive at Quint's Essentials. The party is split. This will be fun.
We're really good at that.
I have noticed that all of my groups tend to do that. But I think it's the nature of investigative stuff. Splitting up. You're not delving deep into dark, dank dungeons. Okay, well, this is where we're going to leave it today. We'll be back at the same time next week. In about 10 minutes, the Old Myths is going to get started here. I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the season 1 finale today. Is that
Correct.
right? Yeah. So stick around for that in about 10 minutes, so we don't have a lot of time. We're going to go around, do the thing that we do, where you tell us who you are, where you can be found on the internet, and what your favorite moment for today was. And so, with that in mind, why don't we start with Matt?
Hey, that's me. I am Matthew Foreman. I am at Matthew W. Foreman on Twitter. You can find me here at Very Rolls, sometimes in over on Dice Priority on
I like how you
Wednesdays
say you
for.
can find you here, and sometimes at your own channel.
I'm all over the place. Yeah, Dice Priority, A Ghost in the Machine, 7 p.m. Central. I would like to let everyone know, in case you didn't know, that Dice Priority / Ghost in the Machine has merch up on So Nerdware. There's the link in the chat. Go get you a nice koozie or whatever the hell we sell there. And yeah, so that my favorite moment from and tonight on here on Variant Rolls, we're gonna do a Q&A for Urban Shadows. So come along, ask us questions, be involved in the discussion. That starts at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Sue, my favorite moment from tonight has to be the lake scene, 100%, 100%, and that whole bit that was lit.
When you say lake scene, which of the two?
The first one where my tea got spilled without me spilling it.
Very good, very good. Quint, Adam, why don't you tell us about yourself and what your favorite moment today was?
Yes, I'm Adam. You can find me at Peter Voss on Twitter or search for #PunBard. I make daily D&D puns. A couple of my pun-themed magical items have been debuted on the RPG's Kitchen's latest newsletter, so if you want to check that out, that's great. My favorite moment today has got to be the quick fibbing at the manor house and our bumbled retreat. That
I didn't even know what to say there. That was a hell of a moment. Yeah, Val.
Hi everybody, I'm Val. I'm the Netty Niffler over on Twitter. You can find me here on Friday with Kyle and Emma doing I think we're like the final session of Hallister's Lair. And then on Saturday, you can find me on RPG Lab where we're doing the final session of Desert Secrets. And then we're back here for Gothic Brunch on Sunday.
Yes. And your favorite moment?
You know what my favorite moment was, Kyle? It was the damn thunder guy coming down because I was like, there was no way I had any idea that was coming, and I got really emotional and I teared up, and I'm still recovering, Kyle.
Yes. Emma. I want to move away from Val before she starts crying.
What?
But I need to move away from Val before she starts crying again.
Yeah. So I'm Emma. You can find me at MK Hansen on Twitter. I will also be in the finale of Old Myths, so stick around for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you can find me a lot here on Variant Rolls, and on Tuesdays you can find me over on Dice Prairie. So my favorite moment, other than watching the storm moment with Ambrosia, that was really lovely to watch unfold, actually was my dream, or Annabelle's dream, because I've been tense about things, and that intensified my own concerns about that. And so it was really it made the reality of Annabelle and what she carries with her a lot more heavy and real in my head. And so that was, as a player, that was awesome.
Yeah, I just want to say that I appreciate that each of you, when I ask your favorite moments, it was one of the moments when your characters got to shine, and I am glad for that because that was something that I wanted to pull together for you. So I will say, so first of all, I'm Kyle. Technoscald. You can find me in a bunch of places as Technoscald. Mostly Twitter. I write a blog at technoscald.me about D&D and role-playing games and stuff like that, and on other social media from time to time, but it's not always as D&D focused as those two. And of course, I live here on Variant Roles. Not quite as much as Emma, but almost. I'm trying. I try. I try. Um, and my favorite moment, honestly, was the culmination of the progress for the oncoming storm and getting to show Vorsh the Tempest Prince. Fear not, that clock being pulled just means we started new. So, I mean, there's never no clock. So that's going to
So-
be the thing.
Oh, is Ambrosia getting another clock?
Oh, and Brunch getting another clock. Yeah, absolutely. So Moobot has been reminding us quite a bit of what's going on this week and today and tonight, and the Old Myth is starting in just a few minutes. And then this evening, as noted, there's that, and then tomorrow there's Ravnica, and Friday for the final conclusion of this huge project we've been doing a variant role for Dungeon of the Mad Mage as we finally confront Hallister in his lair. That'll be Friday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, everybody, for playing. Thank you to my wonderful friends here playing with me. It's a joy. And we'll be back this time next week. Bye, everybody. Bye.